Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another exciting matchup in our summer series at Colonial Impact Wrestling. I am the Colonist. Today, big matchup, Freddy Krueger, former CIW champion, versus Shiva, the man who beat JBL in his debut, who is on a crusade, at least so I've been told, to conquer the champions of CIW, the former world's champions, because Shiva wants to punch his ticket right to the top. That's what I've been told. That's at least from the interview I got with him when he beat JBL not too long ago back at the Doomsday pre-show. Here comes Freddy Krueger. Freddy, who won the belt from Bruce Lee back at the WrestleBration 2020 on day 2 out of 4. Of course, lost it back to Bruce Lee in the Triple Threat main event. And Freddy has kind of bounced in and out of relevancy since. Last time we really saw Freddy do anything of consequence, it was as part of the victory of Team TAW against the Shades of Black. Again, Freddy Krueger and Grime Time were the victors there. Of course, lost in the first round to Chrono. Speaking of, two guys who had lots of history together, and Chrono, of course, made it to the quarterfinals in the King of the Spring tournament, and now Freddy Krueger is the man who has accepted the challenge as a former CIW champion, and Shiva says, I'm taking down all the major champions, so the first true CIW competitor that Shiva has the opportunity to face. What does that mean for Shiva's chances? And Freddy Krueger looking to make a big statement here with this win and maybe get back into that championship picture. But knowing this man, the arrogance, the cockiness, the charisma of the man of 1,161 gods. He beat every last one of them in order to claim himself the most vicious fighter in all of India and the toughest god in all of the godsdom. And now Shiva here today is taking on a champion, and I do find it rather bold and also rather interesting that our world's champion so far, Kratos, who is the god of war, has made a reputation of killing gods and fighting gods. And the fact that Shiva has basically said, yeah, my ultimate goal is the CIW Heavyweight Championship, which should be the goal for every single competitor in CIW. But I respect the bold and the brazen claim going, I can beat everybody here and will beat everybody here. That takes a certain special kind of arrogance and confidence. I don't mean to call it, a derogatory thing. The fact that he consistently won, and he did win his Ragnarok fight, and of course beat JBL very convincingly when we saw that match take place. And now this match between Freddy and Shiva set to get underway. A very interesting matchup, of course, 1 week ahead. Here we go. 1 week ahead of the Brawlbarbecue. Of course, a one-day 4-match card that's going to see matches like Pepsi Man and Sephiroth, a triple threat #1 contenders match. Oh, German suplex. A triple threat #1 contenders match for the Women's Championship. Black Cat, Evie Hammond, and Lara Croft. And then, of course, the main event, the Joker versus the Boss. Michael Corleone, who's not happy with the way that DC ran roughshod over the King of the Spring tournament and is looking to get a little redemption himself after losing to Sagat, and a wonderful armbar there from Shiva. But that is all taking place, and of course, A-Biz is going to be joining me on that. Should be a good time. He and I love having barbecues. We grill a lot of meats. It's good stuff, and I can't wait to have him there. It's going to be a wonderful event, and of course, a one-day card, no titles on the line, but with a match like the Joker versus Michael Corleone at hand, it is a can't-miss situation. And now Russian leg sweep from Freddy Krueger, who has got a lot on his plate too. He's a man who is the conqueror of the Nightmare Realm, so he's got some level of immortality. So there's got to be some level of respect in that respect for the way that these two are and their respective canons. And referee John Goodman assigned to this contest. Wait a second, what's Shiva got planned here? And now a big, almost a top rope arm drag or a single arm suplex there. And a very crafty maneuver from Shiva, who has got so much power, but also matches it with the speed, as evidenced by the arm drag there. And John Goodman doing the best he can to keep this as fair as he can between these two. but you really wouldn't put it beyond either of them to use tactics. Oh, what a step up in Seguri. Although we haven't really seen anything necessarily dirty or shady from Shiva, we have certainly seen dirty and shady from Freddy. Oh, what a German. But that's only for the brief moment. All I've seen Freddy do so far is that one Russian leg sweep, and it has really been all Shiva since. A nice knee to the elbow, trying to eliminate that Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, we've seen Freddy do a great number of times in the course of his CIW tenure here. Of course, won a CIW original, and went for that step up in Seguri, but this time Freddy countered it. Didn't that time, though. And, of course, those educated feet, we've seen them many, many times. And now the bow and arrow, a vicious bow and arrow now wrenching right in the center of the ring. Is Freddy going to tap out here? And Freddy's not really the tapping out type. You know, we've seen him lose matches, but he really isn't one to quit. You know, especially as we've seen, of course, that legendary series with Bruce Lee for the CIW Championship. Of course, that Hell in a Cell match that was a tremendous Hell in a Cell that Bruce Lee came out on the winner of, the winning side of back in 2020. And there was that was right during the relaunch time, and it's amazing to think that it's been 3 years since that time, and now a counterfest. Both of these guys matching it. Oh, small package! Small package might have quickly gotten on the chops of Freddy! No, only two. And after all those counters and just to quickly nab him with a small package, that would have been tremendous with that wonderful inside cradle, but not to be on that exchange. But you can tell that Freddy's getting a little frustrated. He's getting a little frustrated considering the situation at hand, especially because Shiva seems to be taking the fight to Freddy, and now an airplane spin. Big airplane spin, and I gotta give credit to Shiva. He's doing a lot of, it's not flashy stuff, but he's doing stuff that, harkens back to the old days of pro wrestling. And nothing fancy about that, folks. Just vaulting Freddy into the turnbuckle. Half Boston Crab. We've seen this beat the best of them. And now a rope break. A little too close to the ropes there, but the damage may have been done as Freddy has been getting the holy hell beaten out of him lately. And another German suplex. And now Shiva just begging him. And I did get the chance to talk to Shiva kind of in that same vein after his match with JBL. And he said, do you sweat any of the people you're going to fight? He goes, I don't sweat. I literally do not sweat. Only when I want to sweat do I sweat. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's the Nightmare on Elm Street. We saw Shiva use the JBL powerbomb, and now Shiva, wow. And you want to talk about not sweating your opponent, stealing their finisher, and then not even going for a cover. It's like you didn't even take the finisher seriously. That is brash. That is bold. And no, it is not bold and brash, and no, Shiva does not belong in the trash. Instead, we are seeing a vicious streak coming from Shiva, but calm and collected. And yet every move seems to be with very dull. Wait a second. Big superplex. And a big superplex, and down goes Freddy. And Freddy is not looking good, man. And Shiva has taken the fight, and he really hasn't broken a sweat. I'm begging Freddy to get up, and he does. But it's the Devil Loca, and Freddy's busted open too on top of it. The Devil Loca kick, that has got to be it. The most devastating kick in all of wrestling. 1, 2, 3. One Devil Loca is all it takes. And let me tell you something, man. Shiva is impressing me dearly, greatly. It reminds me a little bit of our champion, actually. But what does this mean for the future of Shiva here at CIW, taking down former CIW champion Freddy Krueger in convincing fashion? You cannot tell me that that wasn't a dominant win by Shiva, but what does that mean for this god? We'll have to find out, but until then, folks, we will see you at the Barbecue next Saturday. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time, folks.